Today is the day. Today there's elections in Argentina, midterms, and it's decided if Argentina goes down a hole to hell or survives to fight another day. Guys, as always, welcome to the channel of More Survivalists. If you want to learn about preparedness and survival, this is the right place. A ton of information already, and I always recommend my books, Surviving the Economic Collapse, as well as Street Survival Skills. A ton of valuable information. This book, by the way, is based on the experience of going through the economic collapse in Argentina. It is 3 different currencies that I've seen in my country in my life. It is 5 presidents that we went through in a little under 2 weeks. It is the kind of scenario that often people theorize about and fantasize about. Oh, this is what's going to happen. It would go this way. No. We've actually gone through this. So we know what happens. And besides, there's a lot of research. There's a lot of studying, learning, reading about what happens in other places, what happens in other countries, the similarities, the differences. All of that knowledge there in the books, which I share with you folks. Today is a day in which we know if Javier Milei wins or does not win. If he has enough support from the people, then he lives to fight another day. If he doesn't have the votes, then it's bye-bye. Donald Trump has been extremely clear about it. Donald Trump, you may like more or less, but usually he's pretty straightforward in terms of who he likes and what he thinks of what he's going to do, Sometimes not so much, but, in this case, he made himself perfectly clear that if Javier Milei, the current president of Argentina, and his party does not win clearly these elections, then there's not going to be any support. There's not going to be any $40 billion swap of anything. A swap for you. People are like upset, I see it in the U.S. media about, why are we giving $40 billion to Argentina? No one is giving, this is not Israel, right? It's not Israel and you're handing over $40 billion. You're doing a swap, meaning we give you dollars, you give us pesos, Argentine pesos. Oh, but, you're giving me something that's worth nothing. Well, depends, because if he does in fact win, the Argentine peso is going to be just fine. In fact, it was just a couple years ago that the Argentine peso was listen to this, the best performing currency in the world. The Argentine peso, the country that is now suffering, just 2 years ago was the best performing currency in the entire planet above the US dollar. That much it had been revaluated. But because Argentina leaned so heavily and depends so heavily on the political wind, as soon as he lost the elections, everyone was scared, money is running away. So if he loses, all bets are off. There's not going to be any swipe. There's not going to be any bailout. There's not going to be any $40 billion. There's not going to be a damn thing. It is bye-bye. Milei lost, bye. We're not giving you a damn cent. Donald Trump is not going to give another government in Argentina that is not perfectly aligned with him any help of any kind. Neither should he. I mean, I get it why he helps out his friend and the countries that are aligned with him and his interests. I mean, it makes sense, okay? Especially if aligning yourself with a country in the region like Argentina, and if he does win the elections, well, then you're not losing a damn thing. Your swap is going to be perfectly fine. You're going to buy Argentine beef. They're talking about 4 times as much importing Argentine beef, 4 times what it was previously done. So all of these things can be mutually beneficial if they end up happening the way they want. If this guy loses, there's not going to be any money for anyone. If he wins, the swap with the United States would allow Javier Milei and Argentina enough air to breathe and continue in this path of fiscal responsibility, of continuing with a clean sheet, which he has been doing so far. He has, for the first time in a number of years, a fiscal year ending in profit, ending in more money than you. For the first time in how many years, it's the first time that Argentina spent less money than Argentina makes. Now that is exactly what you want to have. Fiscal responsibility. But because he lost the elections, money was running away. The peso was deflating and bleeding badly. If he wins, that's going to be all the difference in the world. So it comes down really to these elections. Now, if he wins, Argentina goes on, the United States goes on, they continue with for 2 more years at least, and maybe then even more so with an ally in the region and swapping and buying and selling and doing whatever you want to do. If he loses, then Argentina is completely screwed. But as Trump has said, if he does lose, there's not going to be any swipe. There's not going to be any 40 billion. Ooh, we just spent $40 billion in an economy that was not able to be saved. That's not going to happen. There's not going to be any swapping on anything if he loses. But if he loses, the administration in Argentina that wins beating Javier Milei will have nowhere to go, because you cannot go with a left-wing Kirchner government asking for help to the United States. They will have to go to Nicolás Maduro, the only ally they have. Maybe like Brazil, but they're not going to give you a damn cent, right? They're not going to help you in that way. You're not talking about a country that has the same weight as the United States. So no, you're fucked. If he loses, we're all fucked. If he wins, we live to fight another day.